What's good, IE Sports Radio fans? It's your boy, the SoCal Saint, back at it again with the special Thursday edition of the best professional wrestling podcast on the internet today. It's your boy, SoCal Saint, with the IE Wrestling Show, a part of IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, with the only wrestling show that is your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling. I am the undisputed heavyweight champion of the podcast world, SoCal Saint, and let me get one for you. Let me get it right here. You see the shirt? Yanked! What's going on this awesome Thursday? It's awesome Thursday morning. I know you had to get up a little bit earlier on the West Coast to listen to your boy. I apologize, guys, but I do appreciate y'all tuning in live to watch me here. We are live right now, live on the X. We are live on YouTube. And we're actually live on my personal Facebook page at Martin Sandoval, which is my government name. Shout out to my boy, the host of the Yinzer Report. Man, I usually change that name to the Yeetzer Report. Yeet! Ralph Khalees is in the chat room. What is good, bro? Yeet to yourself, brother. I hope you're having a good day, man. Awesome show last night. If you guys did not check it out, go to our official YouTube page, and you can actually rewatch the broadcast if you didn't catch it live, and follow him on his official X account at Yinzer Report. I believe that's at Yinzer Report IE, or is it at Yinzer Report _? I apologize, man, if I didn't have that right. I'm gonna get it right for you right now. Yinzer Report _IE, at Yinzer Report _IE, and you can follow me at IE Wrestling Show. At IE Wrestling Show, it's right there. Let me get my boom right there. That's it. Ooh, I like it. It got bigger. And you can follow me on the X, on TikTok at IE Wrestling Show for all updates about my shows, when I'm going to be broadcasting, things of that nature. I'm going to start posting a little more, hopefully some more wrestling content on my TikTok page, as far as like news and breaking news and things like that, and maybe some wrestling clips as well. If you see the background, you see that merch right there. Boom. More on that here in just a few minutes. But thanks, guys, for tuning in to the IE Wrestling Show. We got a lot to talk about today with the results of WWE Bash in Berlin and the results of NXT No Mercy. This was a big wrestling weekend for the WWE with a big debut, which we want to get into here as well. But first, you got to follow IE Sports Radio on all platforms. IE Sports Radio on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X at IE Sports Radio is the official handle for all of those social media platforms. And you can follow us on multiple platforms as far as podcasting. If you can't watch us live streaming here, that's going to be Apple Podcasts, Spreaker Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music / Audible, Castbox, Deezer Podcasts, Addict Podcast Chaser, Podchaser, and GeoSavin as well. You can catalog all of the fantastic IE Sports Radio programs on the official IE Sports Radio website at iesportsradio.com. Go to iesportsradio.com, where you can actually join for free, make a free profile, and you can interact with the hosts of IE Sports Radio. You can check out a lot of the cool features that are on the website, like you can check out the official IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame. You can actually check out my official page on the IE Sports Radio website. That's iesportsradio.com /IE Wrestling Show, where the IE Wrestling Show, / the IE Wrestling Show. And you can catalog or watch a lot of my previous programs if you just now becoming a fan of mine, a fan of the show, and you want to go back and see some of the past episodes or listen to some of the past episodes, because we haven't really been streaming that long as far as, video wise, but we've been podcasting a lot longer. So if there's any former episodes that you want to check out, go ahead and you can catch them right there on my official IE Sports Radio page on the IE Sports Radio official website. And if you want some merch, you want to give us some shekels, go to iesportsradio.com /shop. If you want to throw some shekels our way, you like what we do, you want to support the podcast, you want to support the IE Sports Radio platform, the IE Sports Radio brand, get yourself an official IE Sports Radio t-shirt with the logo and the official catchphrase, your direct feed for all that is sports. Check it out, guys. We also have tank tops for your ladies. We got hats. Hopefully in the, with the fall and the winter coming, we'll have some hoodies for you as well. go to iesportsradio.com/shop for all your IE Sports Radio merch needs. It'll definitely help us out, guys. Keep the lights on for us and keep us doing what we're doing for you that you love from us. All of us, if you're a huge sports fan, and I mean not just a single sport, but we cater to all single sports. But if you're just an all-around sports fan, you like volleyball, you like NASCAR, you like tennis, you like football, you like basketball, you like professional wrestling, which, just to some people is not a real sport, but whatever. We try to cater to all needs and passions. So yes, please, if you're a passionate fan of IE Sports Radio, do yourself a favor and get yourself an IE Sports Radio official logo t-shirt. I'm such a shill. I love it. Shout out to Tan Rodriguez, host of Set Point and the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. He is now in the chat room. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. And yeet to you as well, sir. And we got some other sponsors that actually help us keep the lights on, guys, before we get roll it into the show. Let's give a shout out to Planet Jerky. Go to planetjerky.net, premium brisket beef jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Let me get this ready, yeah. Ooh, yeah. You want that premium brisket beef jerky, that beef jerky that just hits like no other. It's delicious. It's low in sodium. It's high in protein, yeah, because you need the proteins to get with the madness, yeah. That was my Macho Man impression. I had to do that before I lost my voice. Go to planetjerky.net, guys. Follow them on their official Instagram page if you have an Instagram. Go to at Planet Jerky and try out some of their delicious jerky. Trust me, it is fantastic. My favorite flavor is the volcanic jalapeno. I'm going to have to buy myself a bag here real soon, probably next payday. I'll probably buy myself a few bags because last time I think my wife snuck around and ate the rest of my volcanic jalapeno, but because she knows it's delicious and it's that damn good, people are going to sneak and take your supply, if you don't if you don't hide it from them. Anyway, also check out another one of our official sponsors, Seal the Deal Wax Seals. It's from Mrs. Larry B., the co-head honcho of IE Sports Radio. She is the beautiful wife of the head honcho of IE Sports Radio, Larry B., the host of 3 and Out, which had an awesome episode today. If you missed it, he's getting ready for week 1. It starts tonight. The NFL is back. It's no longer preseason. It is officially here. The kickoff is tonight with the first game. I think it's the Chiefs and the Ravens, I believe. Yeah, that's who's playing tonight, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm ready. I'm a big Saints fan, if you haven't noticed by my choice of name, the SoCal Saint. Even though I am from SoCal, my family is originally from New Orleans on my mother's side. So I got to rep the Who Dat Nation, baby. So Who Dat. Hopefully the Saints have a better season than last year. Fingers crossed. As long as we have a better season than the Cowboys, I'll be fine. Oh, that's gonna affect a lot of people watching me live on my Facebook page. I said what I said. What? You know where I stay. Anyway, go to Seal the Deal Wax Seals. You can follow them on Instagram. The official Instagram page is Seal the Deal _Wax Seals. And you can actually purchase the Seal the Deal Wax Seals from the official IE Sports Radio website, iesportsradio.com/Seal the Deal Wax Seals. What's a wax seal, you ask? A wax seal is something to give you that nice little fancy, like that nice little touch, the final je ne sais quoi on like a beautiful invitation that you send to your family or your friends for like a wedding invitation, a baby shower, a gender announcement, graduation party, birthday party, anything that you could really think of that just needs that oomph to really emphasize like how big or important a moment this is or event that this is. And this is exactly what you want to do is check out Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Don't take my word from our official sponsors, or at least my word about our official sponsors. Hear it from them directly. Let's check it out. Planet Jerky and Seal the Deal Wax Seals. And we'll be right back here in just a moment with the IE Wrestling Show. And we're going to talk about Bash in Berlin.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, y'all? We are back live on the IE Wrestling Show. It's your boy, the SoCal Saint. If you're just now tuning in, we haven't gotten started, but we're about to right now, guys. So let's just jump right in. This past Saturday, live from the Uber Arena in Berlin, Germany. That's a terrible, terrible accent. Oh, I'm so sorry. Any German people out there that are watching this live, I apologize. It came to you live from the Uber Arena Saturday, August 31st, the last day of the month of August. We are now in September. It is damn, this year is going by really fast. It seems like just yesterday I was doing a show about WrestleMania, and now we're in September, about to be getting ready for Bad Blood, the USA debut of SmackDown. This coming Friday is the final episode of WWE's Friday Night SmackDown on Fox. before it moves to the USA Network starting next week on Friday the 13th. Ooh, it'll be the premiere episode of Friday Night SmackDown on USA, the new home for SmackDown. And then coming on October, I believe October, oh my God, I think it's 1st or 6th. I can't remember. I'll have to double check before the end of the show. But in October, I think it's the first Tuesday of October, we will have the CW debut of NXT. NXT will be leaving the USA Network and will be broadcasting live from the All-State Arena in Chicago, Illinois, for its very first episode of NXT on CW, on the CW network. But yeah, anyway, so with Bash in Berlin, WWE broke another record that they set themselves for the highest gate, gate in terms of monetary gain. The highest gate for an arena show set by the WWE. It was previously broken by Backlash France. Then it was broken the month after that. And then it was broken again this past Saturday night in Berlin, Germany, setting another record for the WWE. WWE just breaking their own records every time they hit international. Cody Rhodes did the media scrum after the event, and he asked, between all the international shows y'all have done this year, which one was the best one, and he says he can't really choose. He said, in general, I just have to choose Europe as a whole as a great place for wrestling, and it's been fantastic for WWE. They've had some record-breaking crowds. They've had some fantastic audiences for these matches and these events that just, you can just feel the energy and just feel how appreciative these fans are for the action that they're witnessing come through your television screens, since we can't be there in person. So it's just really, really cool to see, how the international market has grown for WWE in the last year or so. It's really fantastic to see that. So the first match on the card for WWE Bash in Berlin that kicked things off was the undisputed WWE Championship match between the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes and the prize fighter Kevin Owens. And this was an awesome kickoff. I know a lot of people have been really critical about the way Cody's been booked lately, and I feel like I feel like there is some value, there's some weight to that, but he's still a huge merch seller. He's always in the top 5 of merchandise sellers for WWE. He's a huge star for them. He is great with the fans. Of course, he's the big babyface champion that fans have wanted, that we've been wanting. And a lot of people feel like he hasn't been booked strongly. I disagree, because victory after victory, he's still the undisputed WWE champion. So I'm not complaining. Cody Rhodes is definitely one of my favorite wrestlers of the modern era. And I think he's doing a damn good job representing the company as its undisputed WWE champion. So keep the good work up, Cody. Him and KO had a fantastic match. This was a babyface versus babyface match, which is, you don't really get a lot of those in wrestling. So they're really rare when it comes to it. Some other big babyface versus babyface matches that come to mind, of course, the Iron Man match at WrestleMania 12 between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock at WrestleMania 17. Of course, how that ended with one of them turning heel at the end of the night. But the match started out with the two of them both as babyfaces in the course of that match. Anyway, with this match, there was a lot of great moments in this match. One moment that really stuck out for me was, this is why I put that in the title, that KO holds back, because KO had an opportunity to hit Cody Rhodes with that devastating apron powerbomb, where he powerbombs a wrestler onto the ring apron, and everybody knows that the ring apron is the hardest part of the ring, because it's right there. It's that edge, that really hard part that wrestlers stand on, during tag team matches, and that there is no give with that. And it's been devastating to see when KO does that to people. He's taken people out with that thing. When him and Sammy were feuding, he took out Sami Zayn with that in NXT the very first night he debuted there. he took out Chris Jericho with that move and won the United States title from him doing that at WrestleMania 36, 37. I think it was 36. I could be wrong. And 34. Sorry, it was 34. It just dawned on me. So for him to not go for it with the WWE title on the line, you could tell that there's this bond between Cody and KO storyline wise that runs deep that kept him from doing that. And you could even hear Wade Barrett on commentary yelling at KO, like, "What are you doing? You had the chance. You got to win the title." And KO just looks back at him and is like, shut up, Wade. He wasn't hearing it. KO wanted to win this on his own merits. Cody did some supreme selling. It was brought up in a recent promo between the two of them that Cody was wrestling with a knee injury. I don't know how legitimate that was, if at all. But Cody was selling like it was. I mean, Cody is definitely one of the great sellers in this business today, and he really made you believe that he was fighting with one leg in this match, and he ended up at times looking like, oh man, I think KO is going to walk out with the title. There was that suspension of disbelief for just that tiny little bit of time, but ultimately Cody hit a crossroads, pinned KO 1, 2, 3, and Cody Rhodes is still the undisputed WWE heavyweight champion. And as of yesterday, Cody Rhodes hit 150 days as WWE champion. He's the only champion to still be champion after WrestleMania 40. A lot of people either walked in with their titles and walked out, or we had new champions crowned at WrestleMania. And since then, all of those champions have lost their titles except for Cody. So Cody's still holding strong as the undisputed WWE champion. Next match on the card, we had I believe it was the women's tag team title match. It was the unholy union of Isla Dawn and Alba Fire defending their women's tag team titles against the power team. I would say they're almost like the new mega powers, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. And this was a fun tag team match. It really was. I wouldn't say this was my least looking forward. Like, I wasn't looking forward to this match the least, but I mean, it was almost I feel bad saying it was an afterthought because I almost forgot about it, but that's not how I mean it. It just was like, oh yeah, I forgot this match was on the card. It was a slip of the mind, but man, these ladies pulled out a fantastic match. It really was just action packed, and Bianca, again, definitely one of the great seller in terms of the women's roster. When Bianca is getting decimated or having a lot of offense against her, she really shows in her facial expressions and her body language that this is actually, like, damn, I am in pain. This is hurting, and the fans believe it. She has that believability about her, and that's what I feel like a lot of wrestlers are lacking that. And that's the psychology. That's the psychology of professional wrestling. You don't take a move and then pop right up right after it. You know what I mean? You gotta make it look like it is devastating to you, so the fans believe that it is such. That's the big problem I feel a lot of AEW wrestlers have. There's still this one match that I go back to that I will never, ever forgive in AEW of actually happening, was when Hook, the current FTW champion, took the muscle buster from Samoa Joe and kicked out at 1. Nobody kicks out of that. And if you're going to kick out, it's got to be a long 2. You're not going to kick out at 1. That makes no sense. No sense. The aura of that move is dead now. It's dead. If Hook, who's 150 pounds, maybe soaking wet, can kick out of a 350-pound wrestler's finishing maneuver at 1, then anyone can kick out of it. So Samoa Joe should never, ever use that move again because it's now dead in the water. It won't put away anyone if this, this wet napkin can kick out of it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, then we got to the point in the match where Jade Cargill got the hot tag and the crowd blew up for Jade. Man, she's come a long, long, long way because she was, she went from AEW having some of the worst matches that I have ever seen. Anytime she had a decent match, it was because of the person that she was standing across the ring from, because Jade was just super, super green, and she was given this mega push by TK way, way too early without the training. WWE, whenever she left the company, left AEW for WWE, they did this correctly. She didn't go to NXT, which was, I guess, not surprising, because of the big deal that they made of her signing, that she wouldn't go to, that she wouldn't be on NXT, or if she would, it wouldn't be for very long. At least that's what a lot of us were assuming. But, behind closed doors, they gave her the fundamentals, and she's still learning. She's still growing, but she is leaps and bounds of above and beyond of where she was, 4 years ago, 4 years ago, whenever she debuted on AEW. So it's like night and day, like she's still getting better, but you can see that her timing is a lot better. Her crispness is a lot better. She's more comfortable in the ring than I feel like she used to be. You can see the confidence exuding off of her, and it really, really shows, and the fans are really taken to her. And I feel like, man, when she finally turns heel, boy, woo, that is going to be such a big deal, because it's going to happen at some point. We're eventually going to get Jade and Bianca one-on-one. That's going to be such a big dream match. And eventually, what I would love to see, since I heard that she's cleared to return to in-ring action finally, Charlotte Flair is now medically cleared to come back to the WWE after that devastating knee injury she suffered last year before WrestleMania season started. I would love to see Jade and Charlotte have a dream match against one another. And I still feel like we're owed a Bianca and Charlotte feud as well at some point down the line. That's something that hasn't officially happened yet as well. So 2 big matches that are definitely lined up in the future for both of these women. But before then, they're going to have to lose the tag team titles that they just won, because Jade and Bianca were able to successfully win back the WWE Women's Tag Team titles that they technically never were pinned for, because they lost them in a triple threat tag team match at Clash at the Castle to Isla and Alba when they pinned Shayna and Zoe, or pinned Shayna Baszler to win the tag team titles. So it was good to see Jade and Bianca win the women's tag team titles again. Big pop for them, big win. And then Bianca did something really cool. She did a backflip off the middle rope, holding the women's tag team title in her hands, and didn't drop it. That girl is talented, man. She is super athletic. So is Jade. Congratulations to them. Hopefully they have a strong, hopefully long women's tag team title reign. So congrats to them. Next match on the card was the one I was definitely looking forward to the most. It was the strap match for basically the most prestigious bracelet in professional wrestling today. The bracelet that has April and Larry's name on it, that has been stolen by the dastardly Drew McIntyre. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in a strap match. The way that this match went, the official rules were you had to touch all 4 corner posts, like the top turnbuckle. You had to touch all 4 of them to win the match. If you got interrupted at any point while you were touching the turnbuckles, it would just reset. All the lights would reset, and you would have to start all over again. You had to start from square one. And Punk keeps his winning record in these strap matches because he won a strap match. His very first strap match ever was against Brent Albright. Ooh, that's a dated reference. This is back in 2005. Brent Albright for the OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling World Championship, to become the OVW champion for the first time in his career when Punk was in developmental for WWE. then Punk had a strap match against Umaga, the late great Umaga, defeating him in a strap match at Extreme Rules the same night that he defeated Jeff Hardy for his second World Heavyweight Championship after cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase later that night. And then last Saturday in Berlin, CM Punk gets a big victory against Drew McIntyre. His first victory on television anyway. His first televised victory since returning to the WWE in November against Drew, and it was in decidedly vicious fashion. Punk hit 4, not 3, 4 GTSs, go to sleeps. His finishing move where he picks you up for a fireman's carry and then boom, knee to the face. He hit 4 of those on Drew McIntyre, dragging his limp carcass around to hit all 4 posts. And then he grabbed the bracelet off of the wrist of Drew McIntyre and put it right back on his wrist successfully. And he celebrated with the crowd. And it was a really great match. They told a story, a beautiful story. The psychology in this match was just, it was cinema. These guys, legit, if you don't already know, legit, they're really good friends behind scenes. And I feel like the best matches always come out of the guys who are really close, that are really good friends. For example, Eddie Guerrero, the late great Eddie Guerrero, rest in peace, my favorite wrestler of all time, Eddie Guerrero, Latino Heat, and Rey Mysterio, best friends, always had great matches, never had a bad match with each other. Shawn Michaels and Triple H, best friends to this day. Triple H is running creative on the main roster. Shawn Michaels is doing his thing in NXT. They never had a bad match with each other. What's another example? I know Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, the late great Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig. Bret Hart and Kurt Hennig never had a bad match with each other, and they were really close. So whenever you have guys that are, legit close backstage, they always have some of the best matches imaginable. It's really hard for them to have a bad match because the relationship is so tight. They can, get a little stiffer. They can really tell a beautiful story, and that's what I see here with Punk and Drew. And Drew and Punk had a fantastic match, fantastic strap match, probably one of the best strap matches I've ever seen. This is definitely better than the last strap match that Drew had against Karrion Kross. That match was, so-so. I know I'm not trying to knock Karrion because I like Karrion Kross. I feel like he should be doing more, but I mean, it is what it is. But this was definitely the better of the 2 strap matches that Drew has had in his career. After the match and during the media scrum backstage, Punk said he's done with Drew and I'm heading for Gunter. I want the World Heavyweight Championship. But that was not to be because this past Monday night on Raw, following Bash in Berlin, Punk came out on Raw and wanted to challenge the World Heavyweight Champion. But before that could even get further, explained or even, actually reciprocated by Gunter, Drew McIntyre, out of nowhere, just came out and beat the living crap out of CM Punk. Hit him with 2 Claymore kicks. He stole the bracelet once again and then did the unthinkable. He broke it into little itty-bitty pieces, just ripping it apart. He grabbed the beads, shoved them in CM Punk's mouth, and then Claymore kicked him again. So this thing between Drew and Punk is not over. And I'm telling you right now, I've already talked about this on past episodes. I guarantee you next Monday Night on Raw, it's going to be announced by General Manager Adam Pearce that the main event for Bad Blood in Atlanta, GA in October will be Punk McIntyre. Let me get my Voldemort voice, my he who should not be named. Hell in a Cell. Yes, Punk and McIntyre, Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood. It'll be the anniversary of the very first Hell in a Cell match, which took place at the 1997 Bad Blood between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. And now you have Punk and Drew are going to take it to the next level. This has to be the rubber match. This has to be the end. Hell in a Cell is the only way you can do that, and I cannot wait to see that. Next match on the card, the Terror Twins terrorized Dom and Liv in the mixed tag team victory between the Terror Twins, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, Mommy Rhea Ripley, defeating Dirty Dominic Mysterio and the Women's World Champion, Liv Morgan. This was definitely a fun match. I could not wait to see Dom get decimated by or dominated by Rhea, and it finally came. You know, the crowd was waiting for it to see Rhea get her hands on Dominic after what he did to her at SummerSlam, breaking her heart, costing her the Women's World Championship, and siding with his new main squeeze, Liv Morgan, and it was him being choked by her thighs. Basically, she had Dom in a death grip, and I saw a lot of these funny memes coming out of it, and people commenting on that clip of Dom just, he's flailing about and had like Rhea's thick thighs around his neck. And if you're a fan of Futurama, anybody out there watching live, if you're a fan of Futurama, then you'll know this reference. A lot of people are saying, oh, there goes Dom, death by snoo snoo. So that was a really funny moment in the match. It did come down to Rhea and Liv. Rhea hit Liv with a huge headbutt right to the face. Man, Rhea is so crisp in the ring, man. She's definitely the best, one of, if not the best women's wrestler in the world today. She hit Liv with this devastating looking headbutt right in the face, or it looked like she hit her right in the chest, but I mean the camera angle and the way she did it looked like she popped her right in the face, and then hit Liv with the Riptide, and then hit her with that, what she now calls the pretzel pin, where she basically folds you like a pretzel and kind of lays on top. You get what you know what I'm talking about. And got her 1, 2, 3. Even the Judgment Day, Carlito and the World Tag Team Champions JD and Finn Balor couldn't stop the Terror Twins from getting a victory over Liv and Dom. They got that pinfall. Rhea was you could see the elation in Rhea for pinning Liv and just getting that victory, that somewhat revenge over Dom. It's not over yet, but you can feel that little victory helped a lot and in their steps to gaining revenge against the Judgment Day, this new version of the Judgment Day, because this version of the Judgment Day now no longer has any of its original members. The original Judgment Day was, of course, Edge, now known as Adam Copeland in AEW, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest. And whenever they brought Finn into the fold, it was Finn, Rhea, and Liv. Excuse me, look at me. Finn, Rhea, and Damian that took out Edge, that eliminated him from the group. And then it became what it became after Dom joined, and then JD, and then slowly Carlito started hanging out, and now Carlito's officially a member of the Judgment Day with this new incarnation. Now with, according to Finn, no leaders. Finn, JD, Liv, Dom, and Carlito. And the Terror Twins, the former original members of the Judgment Day, are looking to decimate them and hopefully take them out. I think they're going to play this storyline out. We may even see this not concluding until WrestleMania time. Maybe Rhea will have to win the Royal Rumble to get another shot at Liv's Women's World title. And I think they can play this out. If they do this correctly, we can have Damian and Finn go all the way until Mania for the big blow-off match. And in the main event, guys, bear with me. I'm gonna try and pronounce this correctly because I wrote this in German since they were in Berlin. It was for the World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther defeated Randy Orton to remain the World Heavyweight Champion, successful in his very first title defense on a premium live event. Let me see, where is that banner that I have here so you can see it? Gunther Emir nach Weltmeister. I totally butchered that, but basically that says Gunther still world champion in German. Man, this match cooked. This match was straight fire. If you have not seen this match, you need to do yourself a favor and watch this match right now. These guys went 34 minutes and 28 seconds, and this was one of the purest professional wrestling matches I have seen in a very, very long time. These guys cannot have a bad match with one another. Randy Orton and Gunther just have that chemistry. They have that something special that when they touch each other, when they lock horns, you know it's going to be something special. You're witnessing magic. And damn, this was that. This was a fantastic, hard-hitting, stiff match, and it came down to a technical submission when Gunther put Randy into the sleeper hold, his version of a sleeper hold. Randy could not answer the referee's count. He did not tap, but Randy passed out from the pain, and Gunther was awarded the victory. And Randy giving Gunther his flowers right there in the middle of the ring when Gunther extended his hand to him in good sportsmanship, which is rare for Gunther to see that. They shook hands, and Randy, you could see mouthing to Gunther that, hey, you're the future, man. That match, they got a standing ovation. The crowd in Berlin, was all for their hero, their adopted son, Gunther. Gunther is originally from Austria, but he made his name in professional wrestling before coming to the WWE in Germany, wrestling for WXW. He's a former world champion there. And so Berlin, Germany itself is like his adopted home. And that crowd let them know how much he was appreciated and how happy they were to see his career success. He is now the world heavyweight champion, still the world heavyweight champion. And I look forward to what's next in Gunther's reign as world heavyweight champion after this fantastic match. I really can't say enough great things about this match. If I talked about this match and tried to describe all the things that happened without it, I would not be doing this match justice. That's why you have to see it for yourself and actually witness it for yourself and see what type of match this was and what a beautiful story these guys told. It just goes without saying, guys. It really was fantastic. We're going to take a quick little commercial break, but before we do, I just want to say this real quick. This is not wrestling related, but I just want to, to my followers out there, if you guys could help me out, help your boy out, go to this website right here, faceofhorror.org/2024/Martin-Sandoval. And please, if you can, vote for me. I'm in a competition right now to win a grand prize that would definitely help out my family and then some, you know what I mean? It's to be in a photo shoot and a ghost hunt, an actual ghost hunt with Kane Hodder. For those who don't know who that actor is, he is the man that portrayed Jason Voorhees in multiple Friday the 13th films. Yes, he was the man behind the hockey mask. He played Jason, killing all those camp counselors and those campers because they just couldn't stay away from their drugs and premarital sex. So he is one of the horror greats. And if I win the grand prize, guys, I get to go on a ghost hunt and do a photo shoot with him for a horror magazine called Rue Morgue Magazine, and $13,000. So if you can, my family and I would be humbly and gratefully with ever in your debt. If you could please just check out this website right here. Go there and give me a vote. Help me make it to the next round, guys. faceofhorror.org/2024/Martin-Sandoval. I would greatly appreciate it. We're going to come back with some more wrestling action. We're going to talk about NXT No Mercy. We'll be right back. Let's hear from some of our awesome other IE Sports Radio programs, and we'll be right back with the IE Wrestling Show. Stay tuned, guys.
What's up, everybody? This is Darren Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunderous Spikes? Then I have the show for you. Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
everyone. My name is Daryl Kinsey Jr., and I'm welcoming you to take another lap with the fastest show on IE Sports Radio. Yes, this is the Extra Mile with me and my co-hosts Christopher Lehman and Michael Ward. We talk everything racing from NASCAR to IndyCar to Formula One to limited hydroplanes, endurance racing, the NHRA, and more. So come join us for an hour of great racing talk and a lot of fun as well on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 8 p.m. only on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Thanks for that, guys. That was Set Point with Taryn Rodriguez and the Extra Mile with Daryl Kinsey Jr. Shout out to them and their awesome shows. Check them out, guys, if you haven't already. Of course, the Extra Mile is later on tonight, Thursday. That's right. Check it out, guys. Next up on the docket right here on the IE Wrestling Show, it is NXT No Mercy. WWE just killing it this weekend with awesome professional wrestling action. NXT No Mercy came to you live from the Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. And it aired via live streaming platforms and, of course, on Peacock. If you don't subscribe to Peacock, I believe they increased their price for their just basic plan. It's like $7.99 now. So it's still under $10. It's, for watching everything WWE is on that platform. And they also have some great movies on there, too, and television shows. So, I mean, it kind of pays for itself, really, especially when all the premium live events are on there, at your discretion. So, I know we don't, I'm not a plug for Peacock, but I'm just saying that's definitely the easiest way to watch this great wrestling action. And man, what a card this was. And this was a card that featured multiple TNA talents this time around. And not only that, we had a TNA contracted wrestler competing for the NXT Championship in the main event of an NXT premium live event for the very first time. This partnership between WWE, NXT, and TNA, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, has benefited them both in such a way. It's so healthy for the wrestling business. This has definitely been a better partnership as opposed to the previous one that TNA had with AEW, because it didn't benefit anyone but AEW. But man, it's like night and day, because not only did TNA sell out Slammiversary last month, they just did a pay-per-view, 2 weeks ago? I think it actually was this week. I'm so dumb. It was actually this week. It was this past Friday. TNA Emergence took place in, I believe it was Nashville. Was it in Nashville? I'll have to double check. But TNA Emergence this past Friday was also another sellout for TNA. And they got another big pay-per-view coming up, which we'll talk about next week on the program. It'll be TNA Victory Road coming to you live in San Antonio, Texas on Friday, September 13th. So we'll talk about that next week here on the program when the card, I believe, will be finalized tonight, because we have TNA on Access TV tonight. But their business has turned around substantially since they started this partnership with NXT, and it really has benefited them in such a great way. And we kicked off the night with the NXT tag team titles on the line. Axiom and Nathan Frazier regained the tag team titles that they lost just a couple of weeks ago on NXT television, winning the tag team titles back from Chase U, Ridge Holland, and Andre Chase. But not only that, it was they pinned Andre Chase to win the tag team titles that Holland had won for Chase U in the previous tag team match. You could see the sour expressions on all the Chase U members, especially Ridge Holland, former member of the Brawling Brutes. It looked like he was, in a career resurgence since coming back to NXT from the main roster. And then it happened. He just snapped, and he attacked everyone in Chase U. He attacked Duke Hudson. He attacked Andre Chase and laid him out. And he is no longer a member of Chase U. and that partnership ended very, very fast. So I guess he couldn't handle the fact that the NXT tag team titles that they just won were lost back to the team that they defeated. And it wasn't his fault that they lost. It was Andre Chase that was the one pinned. And Holland, I guess, just couldn't handle it. And now he's going to be going on this heel mean streak. I don't know what the future holds for Holland, if they're going to push him as this unhinged heel, but the future is, I would say, is definitely bright. I can't wait to see where they go from here. But yes, now two-time tag team champions, Axiom and Nathan Frazier, and Chase U has now been decimated as far as losing a member in Ridge Holland. This match on the card was definitely the match of the night for me, I have to say. This was the match of the night. This was the match that had the most history behind it, for sure, in terms of the two men that were involved in this match. One half of the Rascals and the new TNA X Division champion, Zachary Wentz, who won the title this past Friday at TNA Emergence in a Ultimate X match, climbing the ropes and, going across the ropes and claiming the X Division championship that was hanging high above the ring, defeated his former Rascals and former best friend, Wes Lee. And that's why I put it right here, Wentz versus Lee, the Rascals implode. It was like a play off of the Mega Powers explode that, when Hogan and Savage, blew up and got into their main event for the WWE title back at WrestleMania 5. These two guys, they are the best of friends, or were the best of friends, until in a losing effort against Axiom and Nathan Frazier 3 weeks ago for the NXT tag team titles, MSK, as they were known in NXT, Wentz and Lee could not defeat them for the NXT tag team titles. And then Lee, just like Holland, snapped and attacked Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz and took them out viciously. And the following week, his explanation was that you guys held me back. You left me when you got fired from NXT. You left me here, but I succeeded and I did this all on my own. I don't need you anymore. And then here we go. Now we have this feud right here with, between the two of them. And man, these guys really pulled it out. What a fantastic match this was. 13 minutes and 37 seconds of high-octane, vicious action between the two of them. It was really crazy to see the TNA X Division title on WWE programming. The only title that hasn't appeared, there's actually been a few titles that haven't appeared yet, but those are two major titles that have already showed up on WWE television, the TNA Knockouts Women's World Championship and the TNA X Division Championship. I would say two very highly regarded titles in the world of professional wrestling after all these years. And I would love to see the TNA World Championship appear on NXT at some point, whoever the NXT champion is at the time, whenever they do that. But anyway, the match came down to what looked like Wes Lee was about to get a chair and just rock Zachary Wentz with that chair. And Trey Miguel popped out of the crowd, grabbing the chair, stopping Wes Lee from grabbing the chair, took it out of his hands. And when Wes Lee turned around, he got hit with a Canadian destroyer from the ring apron to the outside floor mats. What? The crowd just went nuts when they saw that. Zachary Wentz grabbed Lee, brought him back into the ring, and then hit his patented beautiful UFO cutter, which is a springboard, basically like a springboard RKO from the ropes to the mat. 1, 2, 3. A TNA contracted wrestler defeats an NXT contracted wrestler on a premium live event. Zachary Wentz defeats Wes Lee in the middle of the ring at NXT No Mercy. And then the winning just kept on winning for the Rascals, because this past Tuesday on NXT, Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel, the Rascals, have earned a shot at the NXT tag team titles, and it will happen next week live on the USA Network. It'll be the Rascals challenging Axiom and Nathan Frazier for the NXT tag team titles next week on NXT. Next match on the card, the NXT Women's North American Championship. Kaylani Jordan retained the Women's North American Championship, defeating Wendy Chu in an awesome one-on-one match. A very strong match. Where ever since Wendy Chu came back, she's doing this like psycho sleepy thing. I mean, I talked about her before, like how I wasn't like really a big fan of the whole like her gimmick is basically she's sleepy. I like this new element to that, her being a part of it now. So, I mean, this new element that she's brought out since she returned, this dark version of the same character, but she's not really doing the whole sleepy gimmick where she's not coming to the ring in pajamas and bringing a pillow with her anymore, or having like the face mask covering your eyes so you don't have to see anything while you're sleeping type of thing. But she's just been doing a lot of weird, cryptic things. I wouldn't say like in the vein of like supernatural. It's not that. It's just really weird and creepy. You know what I mean? And then now bringing in the element of some of the TNA wrestlers that are kind of doing something similar, like Rosemary, who's a very popular women's wrestler on the TNA roster. She's getting in the mix, joining up with Wendy Chu. It kind of puts Kaylani. It almost put Kaylani at a disadvantage, but she was able to fight it out and retain the Women's North American Championship. She's the first and only NXT Women's North American Champion since the title became into existence at Battleground earlier this year. Next match on the card was the Men's NXT North American Championship. Oba Femi defeated the Dawn of NXT, Tony D'Angelo, in a one-on-one match. Oba Femi is over with the crowd. The fans do like the Dawn too as well, but you can tell that on that night, Oba Femi was the heavy favorite against the Dawn of NXT, Tony D'Angelo, and Oba Femi still the NXT North American Champion. Is there anyone out there on the NXT roster? Hell, is there anyone out there on the TNA roster that can defeat Oba Femi for that NXT North American Championship? The current record is held by Wes Lee as the longest reigning NXT North American champion, but I feel like Oba Femi is creeping closer and closer to catching that record and breaking that record, because there really is no end in sight to his reign. He is a top tier talent right now. He is over with that NXT audience. He's definitely over with the internet wrestling community. I see a lot of heavy praise and just love for Oba Femi and his style of wrestling, the way this guy is presented as a character, the way he's just been pushed. It's a breath of fresh air, really. It really is. And I don't see an end in sight to his reign. Like, eventually this guy is going to have to challenge for the NXT championship, because at some point there is no more challengers for that NXT North American title. And he's going to want the big gold. He's going to want that NXT championship. And I cannot wait to see when that day comes. Speaking of big titles in the company, NXT Women's Championship match was the semi-main event. Roxanne Perez defeated Jada Parker to retain the NXT Women's Championship, and another solid match. Man, NXT is just fucking hitting it out of the park, man. Woo! Line drive, home run. The whole show has been fantastic. Roxanne Perez is a dominant women's world champion, and she's so young in her career. That's the crazy thing about that. She's only 22 years old, and she has been a champion everywhere she goes. She is a former Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. You know, she's a former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion when they had those titles before they were merged into the Women's Tag titles. And she is definitely one of the strongest presented NXT Women's Champion in the last few years, definitely, for sure. Like, she is on a tear. She's gone through the NXT Women's division, and it seems like there is no end in sight. Jada Parker put up a fantastic performance. This is definitely Jada's coming out party. I think a lot of people were kind of iffy about like her being able to keep it up and kind of be up there with Roxanne, if she even deserved to be in this match. And I feel like Jada silenced a lot of critics of her on this night, because she put on a solid performance that was definitely one for the history books. I saw she posted on X, about I believe it was her. I think it was her late mother. I think she was talking about the had the best seat in the house, and she's. I know you were with me that night, and I hope I made you proud. And I got to say, I definitely believe that you did, Jada, because you put on a hell of a performance. The crowd was definitely behind you, wanted to see you win that NXT Women's Championship. It wasn't meant to be at this time, but I feel like your time will come at some point. I do see gold in her future because she is definitely a talent that is worthy of a championship run at somewhere down the line. But that wasn't the end of the night for at least Roxanne, because after Roxanne was celebrating, the lights went out. A theme song that we had never heard of before started playing. Smoke started bellowing out of the entrance ramp, and then this gorgeous goddess from Japan just came sauntering out of the entrance ramp. This beautiful woman I am standing for right now. Honest, I am so I'm all in, no pun intended, on this beautiful, beautiful woman, this fantastic wrestler who could probably kick my ass 10 times over. The former Marigold star, former Stardom star, former multiple-time Stardom champion, Julia. The rumors were true, and I've been saying it for months. Julia has finally made her debut in the WWE, made her debut in NXT to a raucous audience reaction. The crowd was eating it up in Denver. They knew exactly who she was. There was no flat reception that a lot of people were talking crap about, like we weren't going to know who she was. Yes, we do. We're educated. We educate ourselves, unlike some people. This crowd was all in on Julia. She came into the ring looking fantastic, like $1,000,000 What a reaction she got. She looked like a star. She was presented like the star that she is, because she is a fucking star. Before anybody tries to critique or try to comment otherwise, she is a star, and she showed as such. Man, Shawn Michaels, after the fact, on his official X account with a picture with him and Ava, the GM of NXT, and Julia right in the middle, he said, "Believe the hype," pointing at Julia, because you have to, because the hype is real, and she's going to live up to that hype. She debuted on NXT No Mercy, and she did the one thing that we all knew that she would do, confront Roxanne, and made it very, very clear that she's coming for the NXT Women's Championship. Not only that, this past Tuesday on NXT, she showed up in her debut on NXT television, taking out Chelsea Green, who showed up from SmackDown, took her out with that G-trigger knee, and then 3 words is all she had to say. Me, you, CW, mic drop. So the first official match for the debut of NXT on CW is set in Chicago at the Allstate Arena, where CM Punk will be present for this night in Chicago. This has to be the main event. If it's not, I would be shocked. So I'm going to just say it. This has to be the main event for the very first premiere episode of NXT on CW. Julia challenges Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship. Whoo, man, I cannot wait. And that's one of 3 big debuts that we're waiting for. We got one is here. We got 2 more to go. That's Delta and Stephanie Vakir still left to debut on the NXT Women's roster. This NXT Women's roster right now, I have to say it, this is probably going to be a very heated opinion, but the NXT Women's roster right now blows any other women's roster out of the fucking water. It puts AEW to bed and to shame. It even puts TNA's roster to bed and to shame. And hell, it may even put the main roster, Raw and SmackDowns, to shame and to bed, because right now NXT is rocking it and NXT is killing it with their women's roster. That's a huge thumbs up for me. And the main event, guys, for the first time ever in WWE history, a TNA contracted wrestler challenged the NXT champion for the NXT title on an NXT Premium Live event, with the former NXT champion Trick Williams serving as special guest referee. I believe in Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry challenged All Ego Ethan Page for the NXT Championship. And man, what a reception did Joe Hendry get. You talk about stars like Julia, you talk about stars like Trick Williams, you talk about stars like Roxanne Perez. Joe Hendry is in that conversation. He is a star, guys. That reaction from that crowd in Colorado, they were hanging on every single word of Joe Hendry's theme song. They sang that. They knew exactly all the words. He got a huge hero's welcome in Colorado. Man, Joe Hendry is over, okay? For anybody that thinks and otherwise, they're sadly mistaken. And All Ego has got all the heat as the current NXT champion. And these guys put on a hell of a match, solid match. Pete Dunne got involved, attempting to take out Trick from the match. Trick and Pete Dunne still feuding at NXT, and that's going to come to a head next week on NXT, as well as it was also announced after NXT on Tuesday that next week's episode of NXT on USA will be Trick Williams and Pete Dunne in a last man standing match to finally put an end to this after what happened at NXT No Mercy. It looked like Joe Hendry was about to become the NXT champion. He was about to make history, being a TNA wrestler, winning an NXT championship for the WWE, but it was not meant to be with the outside interference, distracting the referees, distracting Trick. He was hit with a low blow by All Ego, and All Ego hit the All Ego's edge, pinning him 1, 2, 3 to retain the NXT championship. The era of All Ego is still in effect. Who's going to stop All Ego Ethan Page and take that NXT championship from him? We shall see, guys, in the very near future. But man, what a fantastic weekend for professional wrestling. What a fantastic weekend for WWE in terms of all their in-ring action being just top tier, guys. Top tier. Let's take a quick little break. We'll hear from some more IE Sports Radio affiliates, and then we'll say adieu. We'll be right back.
Hey there, sports fans. Are you looking for a sports show that maybe isn't 100% about sports?
Then you might want to check out the Sports Couple Perspectives right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Most sports shows cover only scores and stats, and while we're not opposed to that, we dig a little deeper into sports issues and some of the hottest topics in athletics.
In addition to sports, we take a journey through my neck of the woods, pop culture, with movie reviews of both sports and non-sports films.
Speaking of pop culture, make sure to participate in our game nights, where we quiz each other on our specialties, and you, the listeners, can win IE Sports Radio apparel.
We always have a great time learning more about each other's worlds, one show at a time.
So join us each week on the Sports Couple Perspectives, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, sports fans? You're listening to IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your favorite West Coast Wisconsinite, Bernie Bango, and if you're a cheesehead, come listen to my show, Big Cheese Sports, where we road trip around America's Dairyland, previewing, reviewing, predicting, debating, and digging into all that is Wisconsin sports at the college and pro levels. Join me on IE Sports Radio, Sundays at 1 p.m. Central Standard. Bernie out.
Yo, what's up, guys? We're back. Before we say adieu for the IE Wrestling Show today, just some quick little wrestling news. If you noticed, for those that venture to the WWE's official website and the WWE roster page, Odyssey Jones, who just recently debuted on WWE Raw, he's been doing a storyline where he looks like he's replacing Big E and joining Kofi and Xavier in the New Day, becoming the new version of that. He is no longer on the official roster page, mysteriously disappearing from the page before Raw took place this past Monday night. And apparently, through multiple affiliates, Fightful Select, and the Wrestling Observer newsletter, among other wrestling news websites, they were able to gather the reason he has officially been terminated from the WWE due to domestic violence allegations that had recently come out, unless this was either, I don't know if it was recent or if this was a past thing that he lied about or never told them about and it's just now come to light. Whatever it is, that is apparently the reason for his release from the WWE. So even after a year of waiting for this guy to debut on the main roster, he finally debuted in a very strong fashion, very popular. He's very quickly popular with the crowd. He is no longer in the WWE, and that is unfortunate. But I mean, I guess you reap what you sow. So I mean, he kind of brought that on himself if those are to be true, if the allegations are true. So that's unfortunate. I mean, it's unfortunate for everyone involved. Sad to say. Another big news tidbit right here before we call it a night or morning. Coming to Netflix on September 25th. Mr. McMahon. It is a documentary series, not just a movie. It's going to be a 6-part documentary series about the former head of the WWE, the man who, self-proclaimed king of professional wrestling, Mr. McMahon. And when they made this documentary, when they started making the documentary, it was almost like going to be, I would say, some sort of puff piece. Maybe not necessarily, but they had unlimited access, unheard of access, because Vince has always been very close to the chest about letting outsiders into his world when it came to making this documentary for Netflix. Then during the course of this documentary being made is when the Janelle Grant allegations came out and his seemingly just becoming the Voldemort of professional wrestling, just becoming this persona non grata, this disgusting human being that a lot of us probably already knew him to be, came to light. And that didn't stop the documentary from being made. So the documentary goes into all that and everything that leads up to that. And this comes from the producers of Tiger King. So if you were a fan of that documentary, then you'll definitely be a fan of this docuseries, which premieres on Netflix on September 25th, Mr. McMahon. So if you're a subscriber to Netflix, look out for that, guys. And thank you guys for tuning in to the IE Wrestling Show. I will be back live on my normal day, my normal time, my normal SoCal Saint day and time, Wednesday at noon Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live next Wednesday with an all-new episode of the IE Wrestling Show. This has been your boy, the SoCal Saint, the host of the IE Wrestling Show. Please follow me on the X at IE Wrestling Show and on TikTok at the IE Wrestling Show. Shout out to everybody in the chat room that was live and messaging me throughout the show. Shout out to Ken Rodriguez. Shout out to Danny Mahan. Pete! I didn't forget about you, brother. Shout out to the quick process. Hit that like. I appreciate it. Hit that like button. Thank you. And Ralph, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I love all y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Please don't forget to do me a favor that I'm humbly asking you of. Please vote for me at faceofhorror.org/2024 /Martin-Sandoval. Help me out. Please vote for me, guys. I'm trying to win that big old money. I would really appreciate it if it's possible. Thank you. Blessings and all to y'all. I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Let's go, Saints. Who dat? The NFL is back. Woo!